Good morning.
Good morning.
This is the first podcast of 2024.
Is it? I don't know. Why does January always feel like it's 100 years long? I'm like, is it is it still January?
It is still January. And someone was talking about how January is the Monday of the year. And yeah, it just goes on forever and there's nothing,
Yeah. It's
But
like it's
but
January
I'm gonna start
210.
this new year new. I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do right now is if you are watching this, if you are listening to this, there's a little thumbs up, a like button. Would you please click it? Like, it's such a small, tiny ask. It doesn't cost you anything. And it really helps support the success of this podcast and allows us to be able to keep doing what we do. And because we get feedback all the time from people about how much they love the show, and that feedback, it fills my heart, but it doesn't help the success of the show. Whereas those little likes, those subscribes, the shares, the comments, all of those things really help the show grow. So
I'm going to do it right now.
it?
I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to like it myself. Let's see.
Perfect.
Okay, and thumbs up, boom. The first one is me because, we have to manifest ourselves first. So, done.
Awesome. I love it. But we have another viewer. Please like this video. That will help us so much. And part of I bring this up because I want to talk about asking for help. And I don't know about you. I always laugh because my mom, look, there's 3 people. Will you please like this video? You 3 people that are watching us right now, just click the like button. I can see if you do it. And if you do it, I will just be so happy.
It's the little things. See, you don't have to spend money on Julietta. Just throw
just
her.
Like me. Just like me. No. But back to asking for help. So my mom used to tell me that I was independent from the moment I came out of the womb. And like, even when I was a little girl, she often questioned herself, like, who is the parent and who is the child? Because I was so independent. Like, I didn't need her for any, I was potty trained supposedly before I was even 1 year old, which everybody says is impossible, but she swears it's true. And, like, I was washing dishes before I could reach the sink because you just pull up the chair to the sink and so I don't know if it was my upbringing or just part of who I am, but being independent is like a really important thing for me. And this coming up, so it's a marketing person that tells me I need to ask for people to like this, and I realized when he said it, like, it brought up some discomfort in me, and it's definitely something that I've been working on, I don't know, probably for like 10 years or something, like getting okay with asking for help, and there's all the excuses, like, I can do it better than they can anyway, so I might as well just do it. They're going to do it wrong, so I just let me do it. And I think I'm not the only one that struggles to ask for help. And so, like, my New Year's resolution, if I have one, I don't really like New Year's resolutions, but I'm going to ask for help more, putting that on my list.
I like that. And I think it's good. And you could, it doesn't mean you have to like go out and ask somebody for $1 million loan, right? Like, it could be something as small as, hey, can
like
you
this video?
Exactly. Can you like this video for me? And so, for me, sorry, multitasking. For me, the part about, I might as well just do it myself sort of a thing, really, because there's a finite amount of quote unquote time in this existence that I've bought into, right? And so I can't do it all, even if I am going to do it perfectly. And the saying done is better than perfect has really come into my life a lot lately. And a lot of things that I thought had to be done perfectly really don't. They kind of just need to be done well enough, you know? And there's certain parts of my life where that's not acceptable, like my business, right? Like how I do my photo shoots, how I run, you know, the backside of my business, things like that, or the back end. But, you know, for other things like, you know, my children cooking dinners and making dinners, like the dinners aren't perfect, but they're creating menus, they're doing the grocery shopping, they're making the dinner. Like, okay, I've had more chickpeas than I really want to have this week, but you know what? I'm not doing it. They're doing it. They're learning something. I'm doing other things that I really want to be doing more than that, you know? So, you know, that part definitely has taken a little bit of a process, but it feels really good. The part where I always ask for help is every time I get some big crazy idea, I tell everybody. Oh, I have this idea. What do you think? I have this idea. What do you think? I have this, because I always feel like someone out there, someone has a phrase or an answer or an experience that I don't have. It's the same reason why I read so much, because I'm convinced that somewhere in a book there's a sentence that's going to solve whatever my issue is, you know? And so in that sense, I ask everybody for help for all that shit. Whether it's parenting, running a business, you know, moving, all that kind of stuff, you know. So,
and that's kind of what we have our heart-centered networking coming up tomorrow. And I'm super excited because we have some RSVPs from people I don't know yet. So I'm excited about that. But that's one of the things that I love about that networking group is that it's not just passing cards. It's like, this is what's going on with me and my business, and what solutions do you guys have for me? Because I haven't been able to figure it out myself, and we have this collective of brain power to figure it out.
And leaving space for the serendipity, right? Like the other day I had a photography client come in, and she showed me like her vision board and Pinterest board and all of this. And on there, she had TED. You know, I really want to do a TED talk. I really want to do a TEDx. And I'm like, what a coincidence. You should come to our heart-centered networking, because one of our, you know, people is a TEDx coordinator. Like, this is incredible, you know, like this is how the universe works. So hopefully she's one of the people that signed up. Yeah, it's, you know, you gotta put yourself out there, and you gotta ask for what you want for the universe to give it to you. You know, I'm not saying it's gonna come down like a lightning bolt from the sky, but maybe I'm the fucking lightning bolt. You know what I mean?
You are a lightning bolt, Graciela, for sure. And one thing too, I always tell people is, like, when you ask for something, release the expectation of how the response is going to look like. Because sometimes the universe is giving you what you've asked for, but because it isn't exactly in the way you thought it was going to come, you ignore it. You don't take it, you know? Yeah. What's that? I'm horrible at retelling stories, but like the person that was, drowning in the middle of the ocean, and they're asking God for help, and God sends a boat, and they're like, no, I asked for God. And a helicopter comes. They're like, no, I asked for God. And
yeah,
it's like, release the expectations of what it's going to look like.
Yeah, no, for sure. It is, I'm learning that more and more when it comes to building wealth. And as a matter of fact, I just picked up another Project 369 book. So now I'm working on 2 at the same time, which is really fun. And I bought an extra copy of it for my partner. I'm like, this whole house needs to get on board. Like, we got to manifest.
Tell me about this 369. I don't know about it.
Oh, Project 369. I wish I could remember the author's name, but anyway.
It's not Nikola Tesla, because he was all about the 3, the 6, the 9. And they're like, if you understand the 369, like, you will have all the power
of the universe. Yeah. So the author refers to Tesla a lot and explains his thoughts and theories behind it, and basically how 369 is the key to the universe. But what I like about Project 369, we got another like. Yay!
I'm so
What I like about 369 is that it's written in very plain language, and it's really the cliff notes of manifestation. That's kind of what I'm going to call it. You know, I have been loving Joe Dispenza's Becoming Supernatural. And if you're sciencey and you love like the real micro details of how and why the hormones in your body have a chemical reaction to the feeling, like let's write brain scans and, you know, figures like this of lines that I don't understand. But if you like that, that book is super heady and really great. And Project 369 is like light. It's the light version. So it tells you very directly without the science, look, your thoughts create your reality. When you create your thoughts, you create the feeling creates the reality. And basically you are remembering your future. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to do this meditation. You're going to write your affirmation 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times in the evening. You're going to go to sleep with this on your mind. And when you wake up in the morning, you're going to do it again, right? Like it's very easy to follow. And what I was getting to was talking about money, because the first book I picked up was Evolved Consciousness. The second one I picked up was Wealth Building or Wealth and Abundance or something like that. And, you know, in there, it was a good reminder, like, don't be fooled that money only comes from hard work. Like, you know, we grew up with this concept, like, especially watching shows like Little House on the Prairie, right? Where like everyone is suffering constantly, right? And working hard is like a good virtue to have. Like, you know, even as a mom, right? Like the suffering mother, you know, that trope, like it's a fucking lie, people. Like, you don't have to suffer to get the things that you want. I keep saying this, like life should be pleasurable. Even if you're doing something challenging, it should still be pleasurable, right? Like I come to my studio every day. Some days I go home sore because, you know, I'm up and down, I'm on the floor, I'm up a ladder, whatever, but it is pleasurable for me. I don't mind it, right? So anyway, that's the story of 369. It's finding the intention and the pleasure and manifesting it from an easy place, you know?
I like easy. So, care to guess what's in my mug?
I don't know. It's a little late for cacao. What do you got?
It is cacao.
Is it?
Yes.
It's not your second cup, is it?
Julietta forgot to order cacao. So there's no cacao at home. But
You know,
I do have
Millennium.
a partial bag at the office. And so
I was going to say, you can always come over and borrow a cup of cacao. You know.
Well, anyway, my cacao is ordered. And you know what? I took 2 days. So I didn't have cacao on Saturday. I didn't have cacao on Sunday. Hopefully my cacao is arriving shortly. But I have to say, like, just taking that 2-day break makes this cacao like even so much better.
Right.
You know, there is consistency is important, but sometimes taking a little break gives you greater appreciation.
And I think for me, I have been really figuring out how I can utilize cacao in different ways, right? Like when I first started, it was very much a very deep and very spiritual and very opening practice. And it still is all of those things, but I've kind of shifted a little bit. And I'm finding that I can ride the wave of cacao to do whatever it is that I need to do, right? So even the other day, I went to a sound bath. It was actually called a levitation meditation. We sat in those aerial silks, and we just floated, you know, while she did a sound bath for us, her and her husband. And I drank cacao right before going because I was like, when I go on this trip, quote unquote, I want to go deep, you know? And so you can have it in the morning, you can have it at night. Lately, I've been drinking it with oat milk in the morning, which kind of reduces how much you absorb. So I'm able to read and focus in the morning. And I told you I'm in the middle of 5 books at the same time because of course I am. And it just helps so much. Like, it helps with however you want it to help. That's what I love about it.
And what I also love is we're going to start doing our monthly cacao, how to cacao class.
Yeah.
I laughed because when I posted it, someone said, did you really mean 7:30 in the morning? And I was like, yes, it is at 7:30 in the morning. But like women get together for coffee. Why not get together for cacao? But what I also love about this is, and I'm sure you get the same thing, like people ask me all the time now, what's up with the cacao? Like, and there's the people out there that think that it's like a psychotropic plant medicine, because it is plant medicine. And no, it's not psychotropic. You're not going to have hallucinations and go on some journey drinking the cacao, but that doesn't make it any less powerful. And so, because we're finding so many people have questions out there, we're going to start having our little educational class. And it's a class on how to do cacao, yes. And this is the other thing that keeps coming up from people. Like, people come into my healing space here and we talk about other things that don't get talked about out there in the real world, and people are always expressing like, I don't have people I can talk to this stuff about. And so we're building this tribe of people that you can talk to this stuff about. So yes, it will be some talking about cacao and how to use its magic. And it will also be, getting the tribe together to hang out and talk about the things that are meaningful. And yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, it can be whatever you want it to be, right? Like, sometimes when women gather, we just need to let some stuff off our chest. And sometimes it's like, hey, today's a great day. And sometimes it's just like, what's up with you? Some days you need to be the receiver, and some days you need to be the one holding the space. And, other days it's your turn to let it out, And so those, I think, are nice little side effects of what the class is intended to do. Like, when people gather, everyone just always feels better anyway, and sometimes just, like I said, one sentence from a friend. I mean, you remember, you guys are gonna have to dig through the archive because I'm not going to tell the whole story again, but one sentence from a friend helped me generate $10,000 in 10 days. Like, it matters when people get together. It matters to get reassurance to what you're doing. And the class, I just, like, when we start, when not start, because we've done already, but when we do our ceremonies, I know that it can be uncomfortable if you've never done it before or had it before. You're like, oh, what is that? I don't know. And then I'm in a group, so I'm too scared to ask questions, so I'm just going to stay quiet. This class is specifically for that. It's going to be a forum. It's going to be ask all the questions you want to ask, stir it yourself, put in what you want. Which, PS, I've been adding nutmeg.
That's so funny. Me too.
Yeah. So Allison, our friend, sent me like a TikTok or something that's showing that nutmeg helps increase like your intuition and your psychic abilities and things like that. And I was like, interesting. So I added a little bit and it feels good, so, always changing. I added chaga mushrooms too.
Yeah.
Yeah. My formula has been changing and playing around with it.
And that's one thing too that's beautiful about the cacao is there's so many options. So many options.
Yeah, and you get to play with it. So, but that's what the class is for. And then when do we have our is it the 9th? No.
February 9th is the cacao ceremony sound bath.
Yes, that one. That's going to be so good. So that one's going to be here at the studio. I will make the cacao and just give it to you already done. And then yeah, we're going to have BB come in for that one.
Yeah, BB's great. And it's like sometimes I think about there's almost like no, because it's more than a sound bath. She is a songstress, and she's very magical. So I'm looking forward to co-creating an event with her again. And like the feedback that we got off the first one. And this one's a little bit smaller, a little less spendy, a little less time consuming. So for people that the other one was too much for, we've shrunken it down a tiny bit to make it financially more accessible, time-wise more accessible, but still
Profound.
phenomenal, profound. Like, I guarantee you will walk away feeling shifted in a positive way.
Yeah. What I love about what we have planned for this year, without giving it all away, is that each of our events are going to build on the previous event, all leading up to bigger, deeper, more profound events that move you forward, right? So it's not like I also want to emphasize the practical side of all of this, because I know that sometimes that's what we need to hear to convince ourselves that we should give this to ourselves, right? Because so many of us are like, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay, I don't need anything. But if I told you, oh, come to this session and manifest $10,000, you would be like, oh, what? Let me go do that. You know what I mean? So don't be fooled by, my using the word profound all the time. Like, yes, it is profound. Yes, it is beautiful. And also it's something that's going to move you forward in your life, whatever that means to you. We can facilitate that, and we're darn good at that.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Yes.
So we also have, talking about prepping for the future. Is it next week? I'm so disoriented to date and time after. I don't know if you're watching the video, if you've noticed, I'm in a different space. So moving my office was really cool. But next week we also have the chakra balancing, which we started. Can you believe we started that over a year ago? That's like crazy.
This past year has felt like 10, I got to tell you.
So, but in preparation, I will say, like, our grand finale of the year here kind of is a retreat to Egypt in November. So you guys can start putting that on your calendar, saving the space for that, manifesting the money for that. But to kind of dip people's toes in the Nile River, how's that? Dip your toes in the Nile. This chakra balancing class, we're going to be bringing in the Egyptian goddesses to help us with balancing our chakras. And so I've consulted my expert Egyptologist, Mary Lamando, who's been on the show twice. It's really cool how we can tap into, it doesn't even matter what your beliefs are regarding past mythology, but it's still a tool that we can use to support us in manifesting everything that we want in this life. And so if you want to start getting your Egyptian on, come to our chakra balancing class on January 25th, because it's going to be extra special.
Yeah, and it is a class. So again, the forum is not for you to walk in and suddenly be subjected to a bunch of stuff that you have no idea. It is meant to be a teaching moment. So you come in, you sit down, take your shoes off, relax, low lighting. I think I'm going to kill all the lights in here. I'm never going to turn on overhead lights ever again. I love it moody in here. And and then Julietta just goes through everything and explains everything, and you get to ask questions and you get to touch everything and feel everything and find out. And I'm an old school nerd, so I love that. It's really cool.
And so April, we have our local Fort Lauderdale retreat coming up. That's going to be the 19th through the 21st. So if you want to put that on your calendar, people, and look at how you can find time to join us for that. And we're going to do in the US retreat in July that we are looking at some really special, like, it's going to be hard to choose because they're all so beautiful and but but to get out of South Florida in the middle of July is like, yes, please. Yes, please. Like, I'm not a fan of the heat and humidity. So to escape to the mountains is going to be wonderful.
Yeah. And I will say, like with our April retreat, there's a lot of little pockets of Fort Lauderdale that have that peace and quiet that we can create. And also, I love mountains. Like I still have to get over the fear of driving up and down those mountainous trails and how nobody uses guardrails. I don't understand, but okay, fine. I think my driving is going to slow down a lot when I am up in that area more. But I don't know. There's just something about the closer to nature you are, the closer you are to yourself. And I'm really excited for that.
I like that. The closer you are to nature, the closer you are to yourself. Did someone else say that, or is that a Graciela quote?
That just came out of me right now.
I love it. To our techie, our editors, pull that one out and make it into a.
There you go.
Awesome. You got anything else for our audience this morning?
I could talk all day long, but I feel
we are going to talk all day long.
Yeah, right. I feel like we can process. I guess the important thing is to reiterate where we started. For those of you watching and for those of you watching on replay, please give us a like. It's not just love and affection, which we absolutely love. There's a whole algorithm world that only millennials understand. And apparently it's really important. That's what we're being told. So give us a like and follow us. We have a lot of exciting things planned this year. When was the very first podcast? It was 2020, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the fourth
pandemic year. Definitely birthed the podcast, and which was interesting because I was going back. You can find us on LinkedIn now. Like I've been told podcasters need to be on LinkedIn, and so kicking and screaming, I'm heading over there.
Everybody could use a little bit of magic. And I think that the more like LinkedIn makes sense, right? The more business oriented you are, the more you want to manifest your successful future, the more you have to understand yourself, the more you have to be in a community of like-minded individuals. So This is perfect. This is not just, housewife woo, We're all business owners here. We're all trying to do it all. So
yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. We're going to go take a little break and we're going to come back at 11 o'clock with our first amazing guest of the day. So now's the time to run, grab a snack, use the bathroom, and
you know what?
Be back here at 11 o'clock.
Yep.
All right.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.